Whenever you hear the words movie, video game, what comes to mind? Lord of the Rings, Return of the King? Peter Jackson's King Kong? GoldenEye? Or something like this. These games, they were supposed to let us live the movie. But they said, F that noise, and took us to a place where movies go when they die. And get a low-budget, uninspiring video game made about them. Hell, right next to Colonel Sanders and anybody whose favorite actor is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. To compile just like a massive list from over 40 years of the ugliest, mind-numbingly nonsensical, most unplayable movie tie-in video games ever made. For us to rank on a wall of shame. But here's the kicker. Whatever game lands at the top to put my fragile sanity to the test, I have to play it till I find 3 things that I actually like about it. So, what is the worst movie video game ever made? Oh yeah. Released on the PS3 in 2009, our first game is Hannah Montana the movie, the video game. As a quick refresher, Miley, your favorite country girl teenager, moonlights as a famous pop star. She goes back to Mama's to get back to her roots and rediscover who she really is.
Who in the Sam heck was that?
Which in the end is a country girl teenager that moonlights as a famous pop star. The movie literally ends with her taking the wig off and the crowd's like, "No, put it back on. We want Hannah." And she goes, "Well, all right." The message is very confusing. Kind of like the game. You ride horses, you walk around the fair, Mel's hose, and have meaningful conversations with Daddy.
How can they write this stuff?
Well, Miley, they used to use typewriters, but
now I think it's all done on computers.
Really, dude? Mamaw, what button is punch? And something is not right with Mamaw.
Which is exactly why you've been volunteered to help me with the
She's
fundraiser.
clearly a dude. Were they like in the writing room? We need an actress to play Miley's grandma. But we also have a Disney Channel TV movie budget, so... Intern Jeffrey, give me your best Mamaw voice. Well now, darling, don't forget to wash your feet in the river before you come in for supper. It really kills the immersion of Hannah Montana the movie, the video game. That and Daddy Soul Patch over here wiping the counter 10 inches above its surface. Well, it ain't ever gonna get clean that way, Robbie Ray. There's just like nothing in this game that makes me feel like, I wonder what's gonna happen next. I actively don't want to find out what's next. This game is literally the worst of both worlds, putting Hannah Montana the movie, the video game, right at the top of our wall of shame. At least this game functions. Going back and editing all of this now, I didn't really realize the mental toll of playing like the worst games ever for like a month. That's why this video is sponsored by BetterHelp, an online therapy platform where you can break down vague feelings into specific addressable concerns. Maybe you were gifted a signed copy of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's The Tooth Fairy for Christmas. Yikes. Or I don't know, maybe you thought Embrace the Chaos was a really cool tattoo as a 19-year-old that just got out of boot camp. But now it's like just a reminder of all the stuff that you're never gonna finish. And also, it kind of sounds like a Ninja Turtle catchphrase. Embrace the chaos, Donatello. BetterHelp is fully online, man. So you can fill out this little questionnaire and be matched with a well-qualified therapist that best fits you in just a couple of days. You know what? None of this is real. I literally have a light on my back so that there isn't a shadow on my green screen. I am just a distraction from the real world. I like to consider my content bite-sized freedom from concern. I'm not a mechanism you should be using for coping. Someone watching right now, I do think would benefit from this. This is a new year, dude. Your chance to write a whole new story. I think BetterHelp is a pretty cool opportunity to maybe get started. Start fresh any day of the year with BetterHelp. Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/player2 and get 10% off your first month of therapy. Shrek is probably one of the most iconic characters of all time. If you were a wee lad in 2001, it was really hard to find anything that wasn't Shrek. Toaster strudels, TVs, kids' cuisine, remember those? And who could forget Shrek ketchup, the condiment of the gods? If your tongue didn't look like you just blew the Jolly Green Giant, then you had to get over there and sit with all the pink-tongued normies at the loser table. As a 6-year-old in the theater, this was literally like the best thing I'd ever seen. Duloc is a perfect place? Like the evil dragon turns out not to be evil Just needed some of that donkey. Ogres are like onions, dude.
I'm a goddamn onion, Mason.
Relatable messaging about how everyone has more layers than just what's on the surface. And take all of that away. Take all of that away. And Shrek for the OG Xbox is what you get. Hey, Xbox, by the way, for naming their third gaming system the Xbox One, forcing me to use other terminology to explain which system I'm talking about. Xbox One should have been Xbox 720. That's what we all wanted, right? Right, guys? Shrek also released as a launch title for the original Xbox. So that means one kid opened up their Xbox on Christmas morning in 2001 to Halo Combat Evolved, one of the best FPSs of all time. And another kid somewhere else opened their Xbox up with this. Shrek's box, as I like to call it, takes place after the events of the first movie in a non-canonical rescue mission to get Princess Fiona back from Merlin like the wizard. It's a pretty cool premise, but a really hard to control platformer with lots of farts. You fart on bad guys.
You can stun your enemies by expelling gas.
You fart to catch stuff on fire. The menu is farts. So the mirror takes you to a bunch of different maps. You gotta fight this dude, which he really sounds like John C. Reilly.
I'll fight you. Come on.
But you also have to jump over all these different ledges and certain time limits. And Shrek just glides around the whole floor like he's wearing those Walmart rubber shoes that line cooks wear. If this had been my first game for the Xbox, I would have went right back to the ATV Off-Road Fury on my PlayStation 2 to get mollywopped into the clouds for no reason. That's just some good old classic fun right there. Shrek's box is just a really bad game, and I'm placing it above Hannah Montana in the Wall of Shame. So I thought that there was only one Vietnam movie in 2008. I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. Bro, Tropic Thunder is one of the funniest movies of all time. And if I don't see at least one other quote from the movie in the comments, I'm gonna be really disappointed in you guys. Anyway, that same year, German director Uwe Boll, pretty sure I'm not saying that right, released 1968 Tunnel Rats. It's about the short kings they send into the tunnels to like clear them out in Vietnam. Apparently he also made a Far Cry movie, which that's interesting, and Blubberella, an action comedy centered on an overweight woman whose footsteps cause explosions. She's fighting Nazis in World War II. Bro, I gotta watch that. So Uwe Boll didn't just make Tunnel Rats the movie, he was the executive producer for the game too, that's just great. It's still available on Steam today for $20. It crashes when you open it, and this is like a known issue. But the development studio dissolved 15 years ago, so support is not a viable option. After 2 hours of searching, I found like this NVIDIA physics and DVD-K file thing, which I don't know. I'm not good at computer stuff, but it did some voodoo magic and the game started working, kinda. The entire dialogue for the game is just this psychopath inner monologuing.
It wasn't real. This mission ain't real.
Yes!
Homeboy is over here climaxing after every kill. So unlike some of the other games we're gonna play, you can heal by cutting off the ears of the Viet Cong, like I'm collecting Falmer ears in Blackreach. But this ain't in Skyrim. This is Vietnam. It's a real place with real people. Tunnel Rats was also developed only for the Xbox 360, but it never ever came to that platform. It's just on Steam. So they'll have like these little mini games that require you to press like a certain button to disarm tripwire or whatever, but it chose controller buttons for the 360, not like keys. So you die from that. You basically just go from tunnel to tunnel fighting the worst AI I've ever seen and listen to the rantings of a lunatic committing war crimes.
This is for killing my buddies, you commie bastard.
1968 Tunnel Rats is by far the worst game I've played to this point. I'm honestly surprised that it's still even available on Steam storefront. Not because you have to Van Gogh the Vietnamese to heal, but the fact that it doesn't even work unless you find some obscure Reddit post from 2013. This goes right up there to the top.
Stay close to them, precious.
My precious. It's like one of the things that I'm able to do. I don't know why. Y'all knew I was gonna do Gollum. Gollum dropped in 2023 and is now $5 whole bucks on Steam. Things aren't going well for Smeagol these days. I mean, it's a confusing choice. Mountains of untapped lore with insanely cool characters. Like they could have done something with Helm Hammerhand holding off Dunlendings at Helm's Deep. That would have been much better than 44 gigabytes or whatever this is. Gollum was already pretty striking on the eyes, but I mean this, dude? What the f is this? It's almost like he's like teenage Gollum, but that makes no sense. The events of Gollum take place literally during the Fellowship of the Ring. And the voice, what is this voice?
Gollum.
It's a little not fair because Andy Serkis kills it as Smeagol. It's like one of the best mocap performances ever. Yes, I'm kind of a Lord of the Rings fan, and I will be playing every Lord of the Rings game in a video very soon. If you get discovered, you just die and have to restart from the last checkpoint like you're playing that Sneaky Raccoon game with the Latina fox. Honestly, that game is probably where the first furry spawned in. You get to do the action-packed Assassin's Creed minigame where you get to follow an NPC and listen. Talk about that escuchar, homie. But don't get too close. They might see you. And then 25 milliseconds later, forget that you even existed.
So, yeah, as I was saying, Gary, I've been putting Preparation H on it, but it still itches. Am I supposed to just, like, dab it on or massage it with, like, a...
Yeah, you just gotta massage it on the circular motions or whatever's best.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a very normal orc conversation.
The game gives you, like, this false sense of getting to take two different paths in the story, with one path being for, like, evil Gollum and the other, Smeagol, just trying to convince Gollum not to be a dick. Like, do this mini game where you're supposed to be able to like see Smeagol try to take control, but after you say one thing, Gollum's like, yeah, that seems reasonable. There's this section where you have to escape the ring wraiths, except it's one of those game bits where like no matter what you do, you're supposed to fail at the end, which is like one of the dumbest things to put. I hate those in games. I worked hard. I spent like 5 minutes running around trying to find an exit to escape them, but they just slowly close in on you and eventually they get you. Why let me do that? We could have just skipped this part. It could have been a cutscene. That's actually how the whole campaign of Gollum feels. Like skippable cutscenes that didn't add any value. They're getting away. With that said, the gameplay isn't as bad as Shrek and Tunnel Rats, but as a massive Lord of the Rings fan, I'd rather play Hannah Montana. So Gollum falls to 3rd place, meaning at the end, I don't have to find any redeemable qualities about it. So that's a win. Why is there goosebumps ooze? Christian Bale is Batman, Pierce Brosnan is James Bond, and Jim Carrey is the Grinch. If you disagree with that, your dad has short fingers and baby legs. The Grinch released in 2000 for the PlayStation 1. The cover's actually pretty dope. It looks like the Grinch is about to drop the most fire mixtape of 2000.
Real trap shit.
The game begins with like a really poorly set up plot to go find all your evil plans. It's similar to Gollum. The only voice that I can hear playing the Grinch is Jim Carrey. This is probably an unpopular opinion, but I didn't care for Doctor Strange playing the Grinch. And also while we're at it, the late 90s to like 2000s era where they would put insane amounts of work into like practical effects and physical set building, that was peak. The voice actor for the Grinch isn't even trying.
My marine mobile. No, I know.
The visuals have that nostalgic PS1 triangular look, but apparently they didn't use many of those triangles on my boy. He just looks like a green mess. My eyes hurt, Mr. Grinch.
He'll pancake anything to attain all his goals.
PS1 Grinch might be a slut. I'm not sure. When I got down to Who Village, I was really wondering like how are they gonna make enemies in this game? How are they gonna make this make sense and still be fun? So your whole objective is to just find a bunch of things around the map. There's mosquitoes for some reason, a snowball thrower, and this little boy that hugs you to death. Like seriously, if he hugs you for too long, the Grinch gets like a close up and shows him and just like a substantial amount of pain. Ouch! And then you start back at the beginning.
Who are you, Big Daddy?
What little boy talks like that? He just called me Big Daddy. Like what is he, a 1950s burlesque dancer? Whoever okayed that line, right to jail right away. One crazy thing I'll say is that you have variable walking speed, meaning your character's like how fast they're walking is determined by how much you're pushing up on the stick. Something that Ubisoft still can't do in 2025. So you gotta give them that. I give them that. You also get to like switch between the Grinch and Max, like who you're controlling to do different things. And that's actually a pretty cool feature. This one isn't actually that bad. I don't know what list I got it from, but it's a PlayStation 1 game based on a Christmas movie. I think the devs did like just about as good a job as you could do. So the Grinch for PS1 goes all the way to the bottom of the wall of shame. Good job. Good job, Grinch. When the Nintendo Wii released, I remember thinking like, this is the coolest piece of technology ever invented. And it was cool. Until every Wii game developer acted like they were being forced to put unnecessary motion controls for everything in a game.
Would you do anything for us to let your family go?
Yes. Yes, oh God, please, I'll do anything. Oh, okay, I thought this was gonna be harder. Just make it where everything in the game is controlled by, you know, pointing your Wii crosshairs at everything. But the motion sensor sucks. So pointing and aiming will often feel like the player's having a seizure.
Yes, make them suffer.
Before the Marvel Cinematic Universe really took off, the late 2000s were filled with not only poor Wii controls, but also with a plethora of superpower movies that had really cool concepts, but when implemented, sucked donkey nuts. You know, you had Push, I Am Number 4, and of course, Jumper. You never heard of this one. The dude learns he has the ability to teleport for some reason, so he robs some banks and life is good. But then this religious society is like, nah, you can't do that. So they send Sam Jackson to hunt him down, but why he's able to teleport is never really explained. Probably because it was supposed to be a trilogy, but the sequels were canceled after the first movie flopped. Poor Hayden Christensen, I swear, like this dude is always getting like the dumbest lines in movies.
I don't like sand.
But Jumper's still one of those movies for me that even though the plot is pretty nonsensical and the script was written by a 10th grader in advanced theater, I still always kind of liked it. It's got a lot of action and teleporting is cool. And the fact that Mace Windu got a rematch with Anakin after getting thunderclapped out a window in Coruscant, or as the French call it, croissant. Surely the game couldn't be as bad. He said, sarcastically foreshadowing a movie tie-in video game that is objectively worse than the movie. Jumper Griffin's Story released on the Wii in 2008. And it had potential by choosing the coolest character from the movie, Griffin, but I've also had this remote since like 2011, so we'll see how this goes. Yep, I hate this game. For the first 30 seconds, Griffin was stuck in this like animation loop doing this, which could have been just like my 11-year-old buttons wigging out, like getting stuck. Man, everything, like just walking around in this game feels unintuitive. Teleporting to like specific places using the Wii remote doesn't work, not gonna happen. You go wherever the remote tells you to go. It makes the rules. Not you. The sound effects are probably from RuneScape. I couldn't even get past the tutorial. You are nothing. And leather jackets are for Wesley Snipes and friggin' dorks. I am literally dumber for having played you. I award you 0 points and may God have mercy on your soul. You're going straight to the top and I am praying that the next one's worse. No way I'm finding 3 redeemable qualities about this game and not putting my hand in a blender. All the way up to the motherfucking wrist strap. You think Hathaway's the best Catwoman? Or maybe Michelle Pfeiffer? Riddle me this. Did Hurricane Chris write a rap power ballad about them? Didn't think so. When Halle Berry did Catwoman in 2004, Spider-Man 2 and Hellboy had just released. 2 pre-cinematic universe comic book movies that are absolute classics. Catwoman didn't even try. Her name isn't even Selena Kyle. They changed it to Patience Phillips for some reason. Like, is she the caramel half-sister of Busy Phillips? She gets her powers by, spoiler alert, getting murdered by this corporation that she figures out their skin cream gives people rashes. And then she's resurrected by a supernatural ancient Egyptian cat. It hot breathes on her and gives her the powers. Like what? The director Pete Petoff, that's all it says. It just said just one name, Pete Petoff, just made a barely cohesive story with some of the weirdest shit I've ever seen to throw Halle Berry out there in the skimpiest outfit possible. Other than Halle Berry, it's pretty painful to watch. But is it painful to play? Yes, the answer is yes. The game came out the same year as the movie. And like the movie, they just made weird choices. The game's menu is literally a DVD title screen. Who designed this? It looks stupid. The first level is called the jewelry store scene. This is where all their budget went. Everything else is just running around on all fours like a kitty cat. The camera angles make me feel like I'm at a Ripley's Believe It or Not museum. It's just nonsensical encounter to the next the whole time. Like the cop comes up, he's like,
"You have 5 seconds to exit the building before we start firing."
but they start shooting on one. The combat is just hitting a bunch of cops and gangsters into like just different containers, closets, dumpsters. Like imagine a woman dressed up as a cat on all fours, dodging haymakers from the cops. This is so stupid. That's not a video game. That's WorldStar. It's bad, but it's not as bad as some of the others. I think a fair placement of Catwoman is just like a bit worse than Hannah Montana. It's gonna go in 4th place. I can't remember one episode of Jimmy Neutron, but I always remember this guy.
Hi, I'm Paul.
Hi, I'm Paul. I still say that regularly. The Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius is probably one of the best kids movies at the time. All the parents get kidnapped by aliens. So the kids, they get to do all the things that I wanted to do if, you know, I was left alone. Like eating a bunch of chocolate or peeing in the shower. Just kidding, I don't do that. I waffle stomp my solids down the drain like a man. This is actually a game I definitely owned on PS2. I remember it, but I did not remember it being like this.
Sure, Nick. I wouldn't miss this night for anything. Did any other kids sneak out? Everyone else is—
Uh-oh, not off to a good start. Your main goal as soon as you hit the ground is to collect like 320 of these atom things, which is a lot. They, half the areas don't have sound. Exhilarating. Then you have to earn these trophies from completing really well thought out tasks. Like find this girl's dog.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find your dog. It's probably somewhere. Dude, your dog's right here. Oh my God.
You need to get your eyes checked, little girl. Or you gotta ride some carpet to a genie. After you get back to your house, it has like those egg-shaped aliens all over the place. Is this Dig Dug? I'm pretty sure this is that's the Dig Dug sound effect. There really wasn't much to this game. I yawned 3 times playing it, but it's not as bad as Jumper or Tunnel Rats and Shrek for that matter. So Jimmy Neutron's gonna be taking over at 4th place. Fight Club is easily one of my favorite movies of all time.
I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
This movie just asked the question, what if you let go? There was a lot of deep messaging with like a really cool plot and narration that loathed consumerism. Fight Club the game asked the question, what if a chimp watched Fight Club and made a video game about it? 2004's Fight Club for the PS2 is what you get. It's like a Tekken or a Street Fighter, but without any soul of any kind. The whole intro, it made me hype.
The first rule of Fight Club is, you don't talk about Fight Club. The second rule of Fight Club is,
you need to listen to what I say, when I say, how I say, and if you don't, I will leave you here to get eaten by the f***ing jackals.
Are you following the plot of Tyler as he loses his grip on reality, aggressively building fight clubs all around the world while engaging in terrorism? Nope, just a random guy doing 1v1s trying to find Tyler Durden. Why? Don't know. You get a cutscene before every level, which isn't a cutscene. It's just a slideshow of the characters in different poses with audio that sounds like it was recorded in a broom closet with 3 dudes on a Blue Yeti microphone.
I want to meet Tyler. I mean, the man's like a ghost.
You're like, hey, where is he? Where is he? Where's Tyler? And they're like, the first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. Then you do Mortal Kombat match and they're like, so Tyler's up by the docks taking care of the next shipment. This literally happens on every level. I got to fight Bob, which they really missed out on an opportunity here to have all of the NPCs in the background chanting, his name is Robert Paulson. But I should have known better than to expect anything fun at this point. You do get to a certain part where they start telling you about Project Mayhem, but they want you to break some dude's arm first. And apparently you can break different appendages because I could only break this guy's legs. Dude, it's like whenever a toddler gets hurt and they do like that like 5-second pre-scream face. This is the least amount of fun I've had playing a fighting game. It is an actual disservice to the movie. I would rather teabag a cactus than play this game again. It's going all the way to the top of the wall of shame. With only a few games left till the worst movie game of all time is decided, this one's a strong contender. Charlie's Angels, the game, released at the same time as the second movie, Full Throttle. But it has its own plot. Get this, somebody stole the Statue of Liberty. New York is orphan? Why does it say that? Not only is it grammatically incorrect, but what are they trying to say? The Statue of Liberty is New York's mommy? The news anchor's mouth doesn't even match the words. I can't tell if this is a Japanese dub or not.
Stonehenge monoliths in England and the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C.
Because it's Charlie's Angels, you start in a bikini competition, and I don't think any of the games prior could have prepared me for this. Oh my God. Oh my God, it looks like something from Left 4 Dead, dude. She's got like, gimme the ring, my precious hair. And she's like 8 feet tall. Why is she so tall? All the NPCs just immediately run up on you and start attacking. And I guess she knows all their names, which doesn't make any sense. You're supposed to be undercover. Similar to Catwoman, the camera angles suck. Like they have like guys off screen just throwing stuff at you and you have no idea where they're at. You have no way to dodge or like look in that direction. So you get hit a lot. She sounds like a mallard duck when she gets hit. I got up for a second to go grab a piece of coffee and then come back to this. What is this weird dance? Why is she doing that? If you really want to lose whatever brain cells you have left, there's these memory sticks hidden all around. You got to find them all around the map. What do? They unlock scenes from the movie. Yippee! That's right, Hannah. Yippee indeed. You also get to play as Drew Barrymore and of course Lucy Liu. She dances too, and it's way worse. Stop it. Bad. There's this unnecessarily long ladder that you have to climb up that literally takes an entire 30 seconds to get to the top. So that's 30 seconds of uninterrupted PlayStation 2 ass. Because why not? Just like in the movie, when the angels take damage, they can heal by breaking boxes and eating the muffins inside. I don't know how it can get any worse than this, but I keep saying that. Charlie's Angels, the video game, goes right to first place on the wall of shame. And Cameron Diaz should sue them for turning her into whatever this is. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory for the GameCube is a lot like the movie, except all the characters look different, and there's no sewage line in the Chocolate River. And this scene is way more weird watching it back as an adult. Good movie though. Johnny Depp did a great job. The game loosely follows the same storyline, but instead of just buying, like, let's say a chocolate bar, you go on a dangerous high-speed chase to get it in a trash can lid.
Hell froze over, Red Rover, better get your moving for this snow getting colder.
This version of Wonka isn't bewildering or quirky. He just puts you right into child labor, straight to child labor in the chocolate room. I will say that in here, everything made sense. I had to gather up all the little people. This one's Jerry. He's a little slow. But as soon as I got to the next area, I had no idea what was going on. You have to grab jelly beans off a tree and then spawn in a robot for which you have to throw the jelly bean at it. And for that, it will turn into a vine ball and you can clog some pipes with it. The whole game is like this, just mundane objectives that make no sense and or are extra hard for no reason at all. In my opinion, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory falls right below Jimmy Neutron, and we're moving on. Beverly Hills Cop, a classic 80s action comedy where Eddie Murphy plays Axel Foley, a cop that honk laughs his way through life because he's a silly goose. This movie is what it is because of Eddie Murphy. So imagine my bewilderment when I turn on Beverly Hills Cop for the PS2 and am greeted by this. This thing is supposed to be Axel Foley, which is Eddie Murphy's character, but it looks like a dude playing a dude disguised as a new player in RuneScape that hasn't done the tutorial yet. It looks not like Eddie Murphy. It really not even a person. I'd never even heard of this game before. Apparently that's because it released only in Europe, but also it was released in 2006, 22 years after the movie. Shockingly, there wasn't a whole lot of hype among European gamers in 2006 for Beverly Hills Cop. And you know what? They had plenty of time to meticulously develop something kind of cool that, you know, maybe it could have repopularized the series, like cool action sequences and car chases, or maybe like an open world Beverly Hills where you get to drive around and stop bad guys doing bad things. But after seeing this, come on. I mean, what do you really expect here? Welcome to the first mission in Beverly Hills Cop the game, or as I like to call it, the seventh circle of hell. What's this game about? No idea. It just starts and you're at a mechanic shop now. Looks like I'll be going in the trash. Classic Eddie Murphy quip. Pause game and think you're gonna hear some upbeat 80s synth. Nope. How about a big tall glass of silence? There's no voice acting at all. Just like excruciatingly slow camera movements that show the player where you have to go. Forget everything I've said before. This is the dumbest AI I've ever seen in a stealth mission. They text chat you, but don't speak, which at this point, I don't even know why they bothered with the text. They are completely unfazed by gunfire, unless you hit them, or I mean, you're right in front of, you gotta be right there in front of them. But if you do get right in front of their face, this screen, it just fades to like a sad black man. Like, come on guys, why is he white when I'm playing, but turns black when he dies? I must have missed that part about the afterlife in the Bible. It then throws you back to the start of the entire level, not a checkpoint. You have to start the whole thing over, every cutscene, and redo every objective. Real crazy ones like climb ladder, but you don't get to climb the ladder. You just watch a really uncomfortable silent cutscene. Put on a mechanic outfit to sneak past the gangsters. Don't mind me, boys. I'm just a mechanic with pointy fingers and a gun at the firing position. Sir, are you in need of assistance? When you do finally get to shoot, like the enemies just awkwardly scuffle towards you and you can't hit them, but they can hit you. They got aimbot. The whole thing feels like something from early Nintendo 64. I cannot believe for the life of me that somebody thought this would be a fun game in 2006 for gamers in Europe. This is the worst game that I have ever played. And it sits miles above everything else on the wall of shame. But we have one game left, and it came out over 40 years ago and was an actual factor in the 1983 gaming industry crash that it almost never recovered from. E.T. the movie, the game for the Atari 2600 was developed by one man in 5 weeks so that they could meet the Christmas 1982 deadline. Now this is the early 80s, games were much simpler, so a single dev was pretty common at the time. But 5 weeks, that's an insane time frame. Atari paid $25 million, which is around $80 million today, just for the rights to even develop the game. And as you can imagine, no, they did not make that money back. In fact, this game ended up being one of the final nails in the coffin for Atari. Of the 4 million copies produced, 3.5 million were either sent back or unsold. And it's not hard to see why. I mean, I know that it's 40 years old, but why does it look like when my dog throws up on the carpet? Playing it made me want to throw up on the carpet. I just can't figure out what E.T. is trying to do here. The graphics of the Atari were pretty limited, so deciphering what you're looking at, what that's supposed to be, is just hard. Like these diamond things, I figured out, they're just giant pits. You fall in them, you press a button, and then E.T. long necks and then levitates out. There's trench coat guys that like take E.T. and they put in what I can only assume is a jail, which is where I'd rather be right now. And then there's just your score at the bottom that just slowly descends with every step. And to these shapes that you pick up, none of it makes any sense. Actually, it does. I looked it up later. And these shapes, they're supposed to be like part of a telephone, that if you like collect them all, E.T. phone home and you win. When it comes to E.T.'s placement on the wall of shame, for me, it's another one of these, hey, at least it functions how it was intended to function. And for having only one dev on 5 weeks of work, this is one of the worst movie video games of all time, but I do not think that it was the worst. I'm putting it at second place, meaning the worst movie video game of all time is Beverly Hills Cop. Yay, we did it, yay. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh. Let's try to find some nice things to say about this game. How hard could it be? It's so dramatic, dude. It was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, because of course I could just sit there and make up stuff. Oh yeah, that sky looks cool, or the you know, this was a really fun jump I just did, but you can't jump and there is no sky. If we're going to do this, I have to be honest. So somewhere on the screen, I'm going to put a 0 out of 3, and I got to hit them with honest, redeemable qualities. Let's go. Naked flames, highly inflammable, armed response. If you smoke, they shoot you in the face, is what they're saying. Like, Billy! Shoot him, Billy! What are you doing, Billy? What are you doing? Billy! Look at this. If you're close enough, they can't hit you if you're ducked down. Redeemable quality. Redeemable quality. That's a redeemable quality for sure. Oh my god, bro, it's so bad. I don't know, we're on the 3rd mission, and I've only found 1 redeemable quality. No mission failed? And as long as it's a headshot, you don't get a mission failed. 2, that's the 2nd redeeming quality. Let's go, dude, write that down. Ma'am, let Colonel Sanders go. If I can't find anything on this level, I'm finding a way to finagle that in. Okay, I like the interactivity of that. That's a third quality. We're done here. I'm done. I'm done. So, as you might have noticed, I would highly recommend never playing this game if you can find it. Now, on the other hand, I would recommend subscribing. If you made it here, odds are I'm buttering your biscuit. I actually just got this hunk of metal in the mail the other day, which is, to be honest, surreal. Do you like zombies? What video game zombie apocalypse is the deadliest? In this video, I answer that question, or try to. Check it out. Might like it. Check it out. So